Hey, welcome to Ice Age TV. And what are you doing now? You don't do now? I get my car inspected, which, what a drag. We're gonna take the Jeep Gladiator Mojave to get an inspection, everybody. We're gonna go to Dulles Dodge. Let's see if we get the lowdown on what the hell is going on in the craziness of the auto tariff world that is on our doorstep. That truly begins today. So you gotta wonder, what's the real story? Can I get the real story? That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna go to Dulles Dodge right now, and I'm gonna try to get the real story of what is going on in the market. If people are going to have to pay 25% more today, or you're still able to buy a car without the tariff because the car's already been built prior to the tariffs being enacted today. I don't know if people know these answers. I don't think they do. So stay tuned. We drive up to Dulles Dodge and we do a little interview in Dulles Dodge. How about that idea? While I'm waiting to get my Jeep fixed, or I should say my Jeep inspected, I'll hang out with the big guys and see if they can give me any answers. But the real question is, do they even know the answers? So stay tuned on the Ice Age TV Adventures. Now, one thing about the Jeep Gladiator, I don't know if I've done a lot of conversations on the Jeep Gladiator, because I don't drive it a lot. Yeah, I just don't drive this Jeep Gladiator a lot. But what's here? Just never-ending projects, back roads, this, that. Who are you gonna hit? And what are these guys doing here? Besides probably replacing telephone poles or power poles, cable poles, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, for the Jeep Gladiator, I mean, it is a nice vehicle. I do enjoy them. In so many ways, I regret getting rid of my first one where I put a little lift on it and 37-inch tires. It was really nice, but I traded that for the race truck, the actual Shelby race truck that I bought back in, I guess, 2021, I think it was. That was a Shelby Super Snake that was just way too much money. And for me, I kind of regretted letting that go, but it was only kind of the vehicle I had at that time to pawn off to be able to make the deal make any sense on that race truck, even though at the end I didn't keep the race truck, the Super Snake. I'm not talking about the race truck I have right now. I'm talking about the Super Snake truck. And if you watch my channel, you know more about that silver supercharged Shelby built truck that was supposed to be a limited run, which it never was a limited run. It was a forever run, so eventually I got rid of it, knowing it never had any special value because they just kept on building them. But the point is, I gave up my red Jeep Gladiator Rubicon edition, not the Mojave, because it wasn't available at that time, because it was just out of the gate when they brought these Gladiators to the marketplace. And I put a nice little leveling kit on it and 37-inch tires, really cool wheels. Even had it shipped down to Florida with another vehicle I had shipped down there on a trailer to be delivered down at my brother's house, and then kind of kept it down there for the summer months, and I brought it back that late summer and drove it back 95, and the thing did really good. Only thing about these Jeeps, or they're notorious, is the walk. And then once I got my Ford Bronco, that really did separate me from the Jeep brand, because the Ford Bronco is so nice. The handling, more power. The only downside of these Gladiators is, and the Jeep, in my opinion, is they're just a little underpowered. Even though you can get the 4xe electric hybrid setup, I think gives a little bit more of a oomph to it. But I got the V6 Pentastar motor, and it just isn't the most exhilarating engine, if you know what I mean. But I mean, the truck gets up the road, and this Mojave Edition and the Gladiator, I think, does kind of take away a little bit of the walk, because it's a little longer bed, and whether you realize it or not, the bed is really a Ram 1500 rear bed suspension frame on the Jeep Gladiator. So it shares that Ram 1500. Now, the Ram 1500 being redesigned now, I'm not so sure that really is the case, because this now really is about 6 years in, because I think it was, if I remember right, it was like the spring of 2019, I think, that I got my first Jeep Gladiator. And I was a big Jeep guy through the 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 2020 years. But then I kind of went to the Ford Bronco brand because of them bringing back the Ford Bronco. But the point is, the Jeep's it's a nice product, and it is fun to drive per se, but it's very tight. For me, it's just a very tight, I can't go back any further. I'd like to go back further, but I can't. The steering walk, it's not too bad. It's a little better than I probably would think it would be, per se. The fuel mileage, it's piddly, considering that you're giving up the power, if you know what I mean. So if this thing gets, so you're 18, I guess it's not too shabby, about the same for, like the Colorado 17, so just, this is not a 20 mile per hour vehicle from what I've experienced. But then the biggest thing is, the biggest gripe I would have is there's just no place to put your phone. There's just, the console setup just isn't very accommodating. And for the most part, on the Bronco, I think it's a little bit more accommodating because you have a place to put your phone. But this here, you just have to throw your phone in the seat. It just isn't very, user-friendly when it comes to that. But I think the quality of how the dash and the stitching and the seats, I think it definitely does resonate a really nice quality built vehicle. And I've had some great success with the Jeeps I've had. But for the most part, this product isn't really a very sought-after product. The Gladiator, but I didn't ever think it really would be, because it's a pricey vehicle for what you get out of it. You're better off just going to a half-ton truck. You really are. The amount of money you're going to buy one of these optioned out very well, it really makes no sense to buy this vehicle. Unless you're just a back road enthusiast, or you're just a Jeep person, you just like a guy who buys a Mustang or a Corvette, where there really is no rationale to own it for versatility and usability. You're just buying it more because it's your flair of your life, or you want to have a Jeep in your life, and you want the removable tops. That was the thing. Jeep really had the market cornered for many years of having the Jeep brand being a fully naked roof vehicle. It wasn't until the Ford Bronco came along that really changed that, to have a SUV vehicle that had the removable top. For the most part, nobody else has that. You can't get that in any other brand. So now Jeep and Ford on the Bronco side, in so many ways, compete for that naked top, the convertible top. And that's pretty cool, is they have the different types of tops where you can get just the big sunshade, where you just have retractable like moonroof built into the top of the Wrangler. I had a nice tiki blue Jeep Wrangler that Julia drove for a little bit. That was that really cool top, where just the top screen retracted, and you really did feel like you had an open, bigger than a regular sunroof, if I should say that. But then that wasn't really a removable per se top. It was, but not like these. These panels pop out. But what I noticed on these is when you pop these panels out, you can get a lot of resistance of air flowing into your face and all. It doesn't seem to be very, it's okay, but it just doesn't seem most enjoyable. And then you got to figure out where to put the panels. And you've got to put them in a bag to protect them from getting all scratched up. But overall, vehicle. But once again, if you're a person that's on a budget and have to rationalize what makes sense on a very more versatile truck pickup, and can you even really call this a truck? You can. The towing, it has the weight capabilities, but not the power. And since it's a little bit more of a narrow chassis, it's going to be a little bit more get pushed around when you're towing something down the road. So it wouldn't be my preferred choice of towing something by any means. But I think it has a nice, unique, pretty cool look to it. And it already has some nice sized tires on it, which, You could go a little bigger, which I've thought about that sometimes, but I think the way it just looks, and really, believe it or not, this has really been primarily our work vehicle, and I really bought it primarily for Julia to kind of work out of initially, not knowing how that would kind of turn into other things in our life. Even for me, it's hard to believe this thing has 16,000 miles on it. But if you look at it, it's usually sitting in my driveway, and it's just another waste of material sitting in my driveway. If you watch my morning conversation, you know what the teenage wasteland morning conversation would be about. So here we are. Get up to town, and we'll go in and have a conversation. Now here's something that may be interesting to my subscribers and followers, is this Dulles Dodge used to be there. So the real history of this Dodge dealership really is this area here. And it wasn't until like the 2000 years that the original owners sold out, right during the whole crash of the whole economy and car infrastructure. And then Dodge, they lost the brand of the Ram Dodge. But this down here was always a Jeep Chrysler dealership and a Kia Subaru dealership. So back there was the Dodge Ram side. Down here was the Jeep and Chrysler side. And then the Obama administration forced a hand that the Ram, I should say the whole Mopar brand, has to come under one umbrella. And it took years for this family here to eventually get that approval to have the one brand. All right, here we are inside the facility here, and I'll see my service tech. And they say they can probably get me in and out of here within an hour's time. So we'll go do a walk around dealership next. Now, one thing that's really nice about this vehicle, I will say, is I can get in and out of it by just throwing my leg up in here. So that is a lot nicer. Like that freaking Chevy Colorado, if you watch my channel, it's brutal. Hey, morning there. All right, so here we got the whole gang. Get all the smiling faces in here, do we? Hey, you got your flower, your plant of the day. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
When did you get this?
We've had that for a while.
Whose idea was this?
Definitely Ariel's.
Yeah.
The plant man?
Yeah.
All right, how y'all doing?
We're good. We're here. It's Thursday. Trying to get to the day.
Hey, remember I told you what today is? It's called Shit Day. Did you know that?
Oh.
So today is called Shit Day because it is so happy it's Thursday.
Happy it's Thursday.
That's the new saying. You tell over your friends, oh, hey, it's happy Shit Day. Did you know what that meant? Happy Shit Day means so happy it's Thursday.
Yeah, Mr. Bill. What's going on, brother? It's Rich.